In 1982, a man's life was shattered when he was wrongfully convicted of a series of sexual assaults in Dallas, Texas. That man was Stephen Phillips, and this is the story of how he lost 24 years of his life, gained millions in compensation, and faced one final betrayal from someone he once loved. On a sweltering Dallas morning in 1982, Stephen Phillips kissed his wife goodbye and headed to work, just as he had done countless times before. A respected roofing contractor, loving husband, and devoted father to a young son, Phillips had built a life marked by hard work and family values. He had no way of knowing that this ordinary day would be his last taste of freedom for nearly a quarter century. In the spring of 1982, Dallas was gripped by fear as a series of sexual assaults plagued the community. The perpetrator was described as a man with distinct characteristics, and through a series of unfortunate events, police attention focused on Stephen Phillips. Despite having solid alibis and notable discrepancies from witness descriptions, Phillips found himself trapped in a nightmare that would consume the next 24 years of his life. The prosecution built their case primarily on eyewitness identification, a method that would later be revealed as notoriously unreliable. Multiple victims identified Phillips in a lineup, their traumatized memories convinced he was their attacker. In an era before DNA testing, these identifications proved devastating. Despite maintaining his innocence and having no prior criminal record, Phillips was convicted and sentenced to 30 years in prison. The years that followed were a study in endurance and determination. As Phillips watched from behind prison walls, the world continued turning without him. His son grew up without a father, his wife facing the prospect of elating for a man she believed might never come home, eventually filed for divorce. Yet through it all, Phillips never stopped proclaiming his innocence. In the prison library, Phillips became his own advocate, studying law books and filing appeals. He wrote countless letters to anyone who might listen: lawyers, advocacy groups, journalists. Most went unanswered, but Phillips refused to give up hope. He watched as DNA testing began to revolutionize criminal justice, knowing that somewhere in his case lay the truth that could set him free. The breakthrough came when the Innocence Project took interest in his case. Through DNA testing, they not only proved Phillips' innocence, but identified the real perpetrator, Sidney Goodyear, a serial rapist responsible for a string of similar attacks across multiple states. In 2008, after 24 years of wrongful imprisonment, Stephen Phillips walked out of prison a free man. The state of Texas awarded Phillips $6 million in compensation for his wrongful imprisonment. It was a substantial sum, meant to somehow make amends for decades of lost life, lost family, lost opportunities. But money couldn't buy back the years he missed watching his son grow up, or restore the marriage that had crumbled under the weight of his wrongful conviction. Just as Phillips began rebuilding his life, a new challenge emerged. His ex-wife, who had divorced him during his imprisonment, filed a lawsuit claiming she deserved a portion of his compensation. She argued that she too had suffered during his incarceration and was entitled to share in the restitution. The courts, however, disagreed. The compensation was awarded solely to Phillips, recognizing that while many had suffered, it was his life that had been directly stolen by the wrongful conviction. Today, Stephen Phillips is more than just a man who survived a wrongful conviction. He has become an advocate for criminal justice reform, using his experience to highlight the flaws in the system and the importance of continuing to review cases where DNA evidence might reveal the truth. His story serves as a powerful reminder of both the human capacity for endurance and the critical importance of never stopping the fight for justice. The $6 million compensation, while substantial, could never truly repay Phillips for what was taken from him. No amount of money could restore the relationships lost, the memories never made, or the opportunities denied. Yet his story stands as a testament to the power of truth and the importance of never giving up hope, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable odds. Stephen Phillips' journey from wrongfully convicted prisoner to exonerated advocate demonstrates both the tragic flaws in our justice system and the possibility of redemption. His case has become a rallying cry for reform, a reminder that behind every wrongful conviction lies a human story of loss, resilience, and the unquenchable desire for justice. Stephen Phillips' story reminds us that justice isn't always swift, but truth eventually prevails. If you found this story moving, please like, subscribe, and share to spread awareness about wrongful convictions. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on more true stories.